What is up, mortals? It's Kiki here with a new video for you. In this video, we'll dive into Class 1A's Boys Heroes costumes from the My Hero Academia anime. I just wanted to greet you guys by saying sit back and relax, you're in for a treat. So let's get started. In the world of My Hero Academia, 80% of the world's population has supernatural abilities known as quirks. With the rise of superpowered beings, some people use their newfound powers for evil, causing chaos in society. To counter this, powerful quirk holders rose to the occasion to work as heroes to protect civilians from villains. As several generations went by, society became dependent on heroes to protect them, and these heroes needed training. Several high schools across Japan opened up to train promising youth to become their next generation of heroes. Not only do these schools teach their students about the potential of their quirks, but they also teach the ever-important lesson of public image. When presenting themselves as a public defender, a hero should have a reliable appearance that people can depend on and also looks nice to the press. Today we will be looking at Tokoyami, Kirishima, Shoji, Ida, Kaminari, and Aoyama's hero costumes. Let's start with the hero engulfed in darkness, Fumikage Tokoyami. Tokoyami goes by the hero name the jet black hero Tsukuyomi. His hero name is the same as the Japanese god of the moon. This is a reference to how his quirk is stronger at night. His costume was created with the weakness of his quirk in mind, with perhaps an added bit of personal stylistic taste. His quirk, Dark Shadow, is an emitter quirk that allows him to manifest a sentient shadow from his body that gets stronger and wilder in darkness, while it stays obedient and weaker in light. It's important to note that Tokoyami's quirk is an emitter type and is not a mutant type. Tokoyami was born with the physical characteristic of a bird, and his quirk takes up the physiology of a vague bird-like form as well. The quirk and mutation are not the same. His quirk is the ability to summon Dark Shadow, and not being a bird-like mutant, he just happens to look like that. His costume is entirely jet black, as he wears a t-shirt, baggy pants, wristbands, and knee-high boots. The only exception to the jet black color scheme is his dark gray utility belt and red choker, which he always keeps on. The most prominent feature of his costume is the cloak that covers the entirety of his body down to his shins. Underneath the cloak is completely dark, which acts as a cover for Dark Shadow, which makes it stronger. The cloak has allowed Dark Shadow to cover Tokoyami, giving him increased close combat abilities. It also gives him the ability to fly when Dark Shadow carries him due to its ability to levitate. His casual clothing is in the style as his hero costume. He often is seen wearing outfits that adorn monochromatic colors and are baggy. As seen in his dorm room, he favors a dark and gothic vibe from his environment as well. Our next student is often considered the glue that keeps the class together. It's Eijiro Kirishima. Inspired by Hero Crimson Riot, Red Riot adorns a hero name and costume inspired by the old pro. Kirishima has a simple yet powerful quirk, fittingly named Hardening. With this quirk, he can harden any part of his body into sharp and jagged edges. Various stylistic and practical additions to his costume accommodate the weaknesses and aesthetic his quirk brings. In his hero costume, he wears baggy black pants with a belt that has a red R engraved on the center buckle, standing for his hero name. Attached to this belt is a cloth that mimics the bottom half of a cape. Kirishima noted that clothes get shredded due to his quirk, so he would use a tattered piece of fabric instead of a normal piece because the former would make a good manly man's badge of honor. During the Provisional Hero License exam arc, Kirishima added black polyurethane arm covers to his costume to both insulate against the cold and to protect the people that he carries. Across his chest is a jagged slash of cloth, which may serve the purpose of protecting people against his quirk if he's carrying them, as his arm covers do. He wears two dark red gear-shaped shoulder pads that accentuate his rugged look. This is similar to Sero's tape dispenser-like shoulder pads because they share the same support company. His headgear is designed to protect him against damage to his nose and chin. In Kirishima's student profile, it's noted that a hit to the chin, while he's weakened, is a surefire way to take him down. The headgear itself has spike pieces around the mouth part, which resembles fangs. Combined with Kirishima's spiked hair, the look resembles an oni, which is an ogre or troll creature in Japanese folklore. Outside of school, his casual wear doesn't match his hero costume's aesthetic. His costume heavily resembles aspects of Crimson Riots, from the color scheme and tattered cloth to even his red hair. Our next student has arguably the most unique quirk in the My Hero Academia universe. It's Meizo Shoji. He has dawned on the hero named Tentacle due to people often comparing him to an octopus. This comparison is thanks to his quirk, Dupla Arms, which is a mutant-type quirk that gives him 2 sets of tentacles alongside his arms, which can replicate other body parts from the tips of them. His costume has no obvious support gear to aid in the usage of his quirk, so his outfit is purely just for aesthetics. A notable addition to his outfit is the mask that he wears over his entire face, which is a darker color than his usual mask. In a sketch drawn by Horikoshi, a possible look at Shoji's face reveals that he has a mouth similar to a canine. It is commonly believed that after he accidentally made a kid cry due to his intimidating looks, he chose to wear a mask over his face in order to never be the reason to make another person sad. He has taken a commitment to this, as he's never seen in scenes where other characters are in the water. This, or he's still wearing his mask in those scenes. He's also shown eating and drinking from the mouths created by his quirk to avoid taking his mask off. In a manga panel where students' notes to design companies are shown, Shoji's note states that he wanted his costume to give off an old-fashioned vibe. This note gives a glimpse into his fashion sense, as his hero costume doesn't seem to match the aesthetic he enjoys wearing in casual outfits. Similar to Bakugo's hero costume, Shoji prefers to casually wear military-type clothing. During the forest training arc, he's seen wearing a plain, light military green tank top with military-style camo pants and combat boots. His hero costume may have the stylistic choice to look like an eye by the design of the belt and eyeballs by the 6 circular patterns on his chest. Other than that, his hero costume is completely plain with no hint of his preference in casual wear besides his boots. Our next costume belongs to Class 1A's class president, Tenya Ida, but first let me tell you about this video sponsor, Honey. Honey is a free browser add-on available on Google, Opera, Firefox, Safari. If it's a browser, it has Honey. Honey automatically saves you money when you check out on sites like Amazon, Papa John's, Kohl's. Wherever you shop, it's a good chance that Honey can save you money. All you have to do when you're checking out at these major sites is to click that little orange button and it will scan the entire internet and find discount codes for you. It takes 2 clicks to install Honey. Now, anytime you check out, Honey will scan the entire internet and find coupon codes for you. If there is a coupon code, they will find it, and if there's not a coupon code, you can rest assured that you're getting the best price possible, and there literally is not one available on the internet. If you install Honey right now, you can save like $50 to $100 on your shopping doing nothing. There's literally no reason not to install Honey. It takes 2 clicks. 10 million people use it, 100,000 5-star reviews. Unless you hate money, you should install Honey. As the brother to Ingenium, Ida has taken up the retired hero's name to become his own. Ida's quirk, Engine, runs in his family. Based on his brother's hero costume, it can be assumed that the design of the costume runs in the family as well. Despite his costume looking like heavy and clunky armor pieces, they're lighter than they appear and decrease air resistance. His quirk manifested as car-like engines emerging from each of his calves. In the leg pieces of his costume, he has a 6-cylinder mini-engine, which acts as a supplement to his quirk. There are also cooling apparatuses located within it to counteract the weakness of his engine stalling when overheated. These additions help increase Ida's running distance. On his head, he wears a road racing helmet with a streamlined design. It has holes for breathing and speaking on the muzzle of it. On his abdomen, there's a muffler decoration that serves no purpose besides accentuating the engine theme of his costume. It's noted that Ida wants to emphasize his physical appearance. This is reflected in his polished hero costume, business casual clothing preference, and attitude. In Ida's beta design, his costume had an entirely different aesthetic to it. He wore a helmet that resembled a canine's face, implying that he would be compared to the speed of a wolf. Despite the design only showing the mask, it's still a part of Ida's costume evolution, and overall the mask is really cool. Our next hero costume is electrifying. It belongs to Class 1A's comedic relief, Denki Kaminari. As the stun gun hero Charge Bolt, Kaminari wields a very wild and powerful quirk, electrification. This quirk allows him to generate electricity and emit it. A weakness of this quirk is the inability to control the direction of the electricity he emits, meaning that he can only indiscriminately discharge the electricity. To counteract this weakness, Kaminari has a unique support item. Denki's sharpshooting gear is a device he wears on his right forearm that fires discs called pointers which stick to targets and attract electricity. On the device, there's a dial that allows Kaminari to choose the pointer he wants his electricity to be directed towards in case multiple are set up. By shooting a pointer at a target, Kaminari can direct his electricity for an attack up to 10 meters away. In addition to this, he has a blue-tinted optical visor that shows information regarding the pointers. Some science also applies to the way these pointers work as well. Fleming's right-hand rule states that if you arrange your thumb, forefinger, and middle finger of the right hand perpendicular to the other, then the thumb points towards the direction of the magnetic force, the forefinger points toward the direction of the magnetic field, and the middle finger points toward the direction of the current. If you look at Kaminari's hand when he shoots out his electricity at the pointers, he doesn't just do finger guns, he uses Fleming's right-hand rule. In terms of his hero costume, he shares the same designer as Jiro due to the same punk rock style their costumes share. He has a plain white t-shirt underneath a black jacket with lightning patterns on them. He also has black pants with white lines going down them for stylistic purposes. In his updated costume, he changes his jacket to a shorter one with fewer patterns on it. He wears different pants as well, as they now have a lightning bolt symbol by the ankles. He also starts wearing a white belt around his waist and leans more into the punk aesthetic by adding a black choker to his ensemble. Another support item Kaminari has is a square communication earpiece on his right ear which allows him to channel his electricity in order to create and receive communication signals. It has a radio antenna sticking out of the top. Kaminari's casual clothing is in a style similar to his punk rock hero costume. It also appears that he was always going to have this sort of style, as his infamous beta design shows him wearing a leather jacket with spiked up hair. The last student of today's video is the fashion icon Yuga Aoyama. Aoyama goes by the easy to remember and easy to say hero name, the shining hero can't stop twinkling. Just as his hero name states, Aoyama's costume is adorned with polished metallic armor with a gold accented trim, a sparkly purple cape, and an exaggerated visor over his eyes. Despite looking very flashy, the costume is fitted with high-tech gear called sparkling emitter gear that can channel his naval laser beam to other lenses located on the costume. He can shoot lasers out from the lenses on his navel, shoulders, and knees either individually or all lenses simultaneously. His wing-shaped visor's purpose is to prevent Aoyama from being blinded by his lasers. Aoyama has stated that his quirk isn't suitable for his body due to his laser often leaking out and destroying his clothing. To counteract this, he wears a special belt at all times to grant greater control of the lasers. All in all, Aoyama is the most outwardly fashionable student in Class 1A. He makes his fashion statements loud, flamboyant, and elegant. Even his casual outlooks look like suits that would be worn out to a club, and he always pairs the outfits with his sparkle belt. That's it for the hero costume analysis for half of the Class 1A boys. Please leave a comment letting us know whose hero costume you'd like the best. Also, let us know whose hero costume you'd like to see analyzed next. Thank you all for indulging yourselves in all this information thus far. I hope you enjoyed it. Now there are a few more things I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, if you're in the mood for some great storytelling, We the Celestials has got you covered. Our We the Celestials, My Hero Academia, and Naruto What If channels retell the stories of their namesake anime with a twist. Check it out if you're interested. Secondly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details can be found in the description below. Lastly, if you're interested in what we do here at We the Celestials, then I'd like to extend you an invitation to join the team. The only caveat is that we only accept members from 16 years and up to join our crew. You can sign up for whichever category fulfills your interest by joining the recruitment Discord using the link in the description below. We're always looking for members to join us. Well, that's it from us for today's video, so thank you all for watching and have a great day.